Assalamu alaikum sixth class. How are you all? I hope you all are doing good after having a great fun in your Eid holidays. So now let's continue our session. Open your book of Oxford Progressive English. So open your content list. We have completed our 3 units before Eid, which are Summers in Murray, My House, and then from unit 2, Green Force. And now we will go for The King and the Tide on page 38. On page 38 we are given with the text The King and the Tide. You can see a king and the courtiers. These are the courtiers of the king, and the story seems much interesting. So let's start it. Actually this text is given with a moral lesson. We will get a moral lesson by the end of this story. So let's start it. 1,000 years ago there was a king of England and Denmark, two countries with coastlines on either side of the North Sea. This story was recorded about this king who was called King Canute. He was a very wise king, and his courtiers thought he was the most powerful king there had ever been. They were always praising him. "Oh, great king," they used to say, "you are the most powerful king in the world." So this is a story about a king who was very wise. His name was King Canute. He was the king of England and Denmark, and these two countries were on the coastlines of either side of a sea. And when we talk about a coastline, it means that seashore. So these two countries were connected to the sides of seashore of North Sea, and North Sea is a sea of Atlantic Ocean between Great Britain, Jutland, Norway, two states of Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Haute-Rhin, France. And further we have read in these lines about the courtiers of the king. Courtier mean the men in the king court, or you can say ministers of the court. Note this word in your vocabulary, okay? You will observe in this text that the courtiers of the king are the most foolish men. They always used to praise king. They have no idea that what they are saying, rather they all are busy in the praising of their king. As you can see in this line that they say that, "Oh great king, you are the most powerful king in the world." King Canute became tired of their flattery and decided that he would teach them a lesson. "Oh great king," said the courtiers again one day, "you are the wisest in the world. You can do anything. You are so great that even the sea will obey you," exclaimed one courtier. Kissing the king's hand, the king groaned to himself. He had lived with all this excessive reverence long enough. This time he had had enough. He would show these stupid courtiers just how blind they were. So now, because the king is fed up, he decides to teach a lesson to his courtiers that he is not such powerful man. After listening these lines, "Oh great king, you are the wisest in the world. You are so great that even the sea will obey you." The king was irritated by listening these illogical praising lines, and when you get irritated so much by a concept, then you find ways to get rid from it. So the king do the same. As in this line you have read that he had lived with all this excessive reverence long enough. This means that he got so much excessive and illogical respect from these people that now he was tired with all this respect. And reverence means deep respect for someone, and now he want to show his stupid courtiers that how much stupid they are. The line they used to say to king had nothing to do with reality. And here I want to tell you the use of had. Had is the past perfect form of have when it is used as a main verb to describe our experiences or actions. Understood? "Very well," he replied. "I will show you just how powerful I am. Take my throne to the beach as the tide is coming in, and watch me order the waves." "Oh, king, we will take you straightway," they answered, delighted to carry out a command for the king. "We will watch you stop the tide coming in." Eagerly they carried the king and his throne down to the beach, where the tide was coming in, and placed it reverently on the sand. So now in these lines the king finally replies to his courtiers. He says that now I will show you that how much powerful I am. He ordered them to take his throne to the beach. Here throne means the chair which is used by a king or a queen. He says that take my throne to the beach as the tide is coming in, and watch me order the waves. Here tides means long period waves that moves through the ocean. He says that now when tide will come this shore, I will order it, and let's see what happened. He was doing this because his courtiers used to say him that you are much powerful, that the sea will obey you. So now come to page number 39, when the courtiers answered to the king that, "O king, we will take you straightway," they answered. This means that they are saying, "Okay, we will take you immediately when you want." And in the next line, which is delighted to carry out a command for the king, this means that they were eager to obey the order of king. They were happy to obey the order of king. And in the next line, when they say that, "We will watch you stop the tide coming in," this means that, so they say that we are excited to watch the scene when the tide will obey you. This was a foolish thinking. So in the next lines, they carried the chair or throne of the king to that place of the seashore where the tide has approached and it has to come. "Stop coming in, you mighty tide," ordered the king. The courtiers stood and watched, waiting to see the water stop coming in. They expected to see the little wave recede. But the tide did not turn back. It continued to come in. The courtiers stood astounded as they saw the incoming waves cover their smart shoes. They could not believe it as the water crept up to their ankles. Soon they were standing to their knees in water, and the legs of their throne itself were standing in the sea. In these lines, as you have read that the king has ordered the tide or wave to stop. He says that, "Stop coming in, you mighty tide," ordered the king. Here mighty means very strong or powerful. So the king has ordered the tide to stop. Let's see what happens the next. Now the courtiers or all the men are waiting for the tide to stop. They were expecting that the little wave will recede. Here recede means to go or move back. They were expecting that the tide will go back, but what they have seen, the tides were coming in. They were not stopping for a while. It surprised the foolish courtiers because it was against their expectations. The water through the tide covers the clean and smart shoes of courtiers. They could not believe as the water crept up to their ankles. Here crept up means to approach slowly. So now the water has the approach to their ankles. The legs of the chair or the throne was also under the water. So now all the courtiers were embarrassed on their act that what they have said to their king. Their king is not a fool, rather they all are fool. "Now, do you see, you foolish men?" asked the king. "No king is powerful enough to command the tide." The courtiers looked down at their wet legs and ruined shoes. They were now wiser men, and they carried the king back to his court in silence. Now, in these lines, the king addresses to his courtiers. Now, have you seen this? You all are fools. There is no king in this world who can order the tides or sea. As the courtiers were embarrassed, they were looking down to their wet legs and their damaged shoes by water. Now they are sensible. They will not repeat this foolish acts. So they silently carried the king and his throne back to his court. Now you will give a moral lesson to this text on page 40. From here, you can take some examples for moral lesson. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will send you the classwork and homework in your WhatsApp groups and your classroom apps. Do complete this. Allah Hafiz.